so here's all my ABS stuff here. Here's the Integra here, and we have the master cylinder with 2 brake lines coming off the master cylinder, and they are bent going into the proportioning valve, and there's a line going from here over to the front, and a line going over from here to the driver's side, and the 2 rear lines are plugged in directly to the back. You can look a diagram up on which lines go to which. This cost me a total of $30 to do, and I'm about to show you how to do it. And the most important thing that we've got to talk about before we even get into this video is basically a disclaimer. I am not responsible if you ruin your car. I'm not responsible if you kill yourself. This is brakes, and this is not something to play with, and this is not something to be funny about or make jokes about. If there's anybody in the comment section roasting me for doing this, you know what? They're actually right, because when it comes to brakes, don't play around. This is not the most professional way in the world to do it, but this is something that is an option available to everyone out there. This is what I've done. I have done it in the past. It has worked for me. This is no cutting, no flaring, no nothing. This is going to the store, picking up a couple of parts, and getting it done. The first item that you will need is a proportioning valve, whether it's a 30-30 or 40-40 or whatever you want to use. 40-40 is definitely agreed upon the best proportioning valve to use. I was hooked up with this 30-30, so we're going to go with this for now. The main goal for this right now is to kind of make this budget friendly, fun, doable, get it done, get rid of the ABS, and so far it looks a lot better. I went to AutoZone and I bought this line, and this line, and was able to create this situation here. They were $6.99 a line, and I will show you what the part number is that you can go pick them up. Now, I would have probably picked up another one, however, the store only had 3, and so unfortunately I'm stuck using this factory brake line that was left over from the ABS system. This will get me by for now. In the meantime, before I get the swap in here, if I somehow come across another brake line, then I will use that brake line. As I said, brakes are nothing to play with, but this is what I've done. It's worked for me. I'm not telling you to do this or to go out and do it, but this is how you get it done, easy and on the cheap. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. So nice to see you here. I took some time off because I had my kids in town and I really just wanted to spend time with them. I didn't want to push them to the side and say, I gotta make videos. But anyway, we were working on the Integra today, and today we're gonna go get some tools for making some new brake lines because we're completely deleting the ABS system, and I'm on my way to the store to pick up some tools and to pick up some brake lines. So that's what we're doing. All right, so I'm at my favorite Harbor Freight. You can see, there it is. We're gonna go see if we can find the tools we need. All right, so just got out of Harbor Freight, picked up everything we needed. At least I think. Now I still need to go by AutoZone and actually pick up some brake line, but I forgot to grab a piece of the brake line with the flare, so to know exactly what size I need. So I'm gonna run back to the house and then we're gonna hit AutoZone. Okay, so I actually went to AutoZone and actually got these brake lines that already had flares on them and fittings on them. So we're gonna see if this works. I'm pretty sure this is the size and fitting that I need. It is a PAJ 330. Now the length might be a little bit short. Now we can move the prop valve around if we need to. So we're gonna see, at least just use one of them. And if this works, then we can actually return the flaring kit because we won't need it because these are already flared and have ends on them, obviously. All right, it's time to get rid of this ABS system. I've decided it's time to go. It's gonna go. And I've already taken these 2 out. Now I'm just taking these out. It's just a 10 millimeter. Usually a flare wrench is the best one to use if you definitely have an older car, but somehow a regular cheap 10 millimeter is working with this. So haven't stripped anything yet. I've cracked them all loose. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep pulling these out so I can get rid of this mess and continue to make a better brake setup, or at least a much cleaner setup. Okay, we've got the ABS box removed. You can see I've got these lines run, so I've got this line running here, the one coming out of this front here, It's coming across out right here, just hanging. We've got the other two coming from the master into a little cup, getting all the fluid out. And there's the two back ones. So now we just need to drain this fluid, get it all out. We should be good to go. But the cool thing is I can actually pull this whole master assembly out. Train wreck. All right, so we pulled that out of here and got brake fluid everywhere, which is exactly what you want. So here we have the cable secured. You can see I drilled a hole right there. I'm actually gonna get some tape and cover that all up when it's done. I've got the little bracket mounted up here. I've got the two cables coming out. So the cables are all just about done being installed. So you can see we've got the shifter cables here installed. We drilled a hole underneath. Now what I'm trying to do is actually get this piece here bolted into place. So I may need to go and move the cables a little bit one way or another on the other end to clear enough space for this. The reason why I want to have this piece in here is because it creates stability for the dashboard. I don't want the dashboard flapping all around, so I want to try to maintain this piece if possible. I'm going to try to get that into place. All right, so we finally got this thing secured the right way. It was a fight, it was a bitch. So bolt here, bolt here, bolt here, and I had to cut out a hole in the center to make room for this. Okay, so we've got all the ABS stuff out of the way. We've got the shifter cables installed, secured underneath. You can see they've got this one long brake line here. Here's the ABS pump, just sitting off in the corner. Next up, we're gonna get the brakes situated. Okay, so we removed the really long, stupid driver line. And I did a little L bend, stuck it through, threaded in, got it tight. And the great thing about these is I got an AutoZone for $8 or $7 a piece, and they're already pre-flared. So now, what I've gotta do, as you can see it coming out straight here, is we've gotta get it to the proportioning valve here. We've got the rear, so these are all pretty pliable and bendable. So what I may do is go get the K-swap rear mount and make sure that everything's out of the way for the most part. But other than that, pretty straightforward and simple. So here's where we're at. I've got the line hooked up in there. Comes around out right there behind the steering column. And it comes around to the proportioning valve. Now, if you notice, the proportioning valve is right above where the rear mount's gonna be. So I'm actually gonna go get that, and so I can put that in place and make all of this fit before I even begin the master cylinder lines. Here is the whole situation. I've got the Hotsport mount here. I've got the proportioning valves over here. You can see with this gray line that's going to the passenger side, it's a little taut. After dealing with everything, it really seemed that the proportioning valve needed to be on this side like it was on my EJ1. The back two are hooked up, no problem. Just kind of bent the lines out of the way, don't kink them. And then I've got the extra line going from here, behind, then up into the wheel well where the brake goes. Again, the store only had 3 lines, so I may actually replace that line later because that does kind of look a little poo-poo, but it will work for now. I'm just trying to get everything buttoned up so it's ready to just put the engine in when we're ready to do that. Clearly, I need to do the master cylinder and the 2 lines left, which will be quite simple because I already have the lines.
Trying to keep my cool. I see running, running, running away from you. I've been trying to keep my cool. I see what your colors shining through. Yeah, I do. Well, that I do. Is it too much to ask? I don't want you back. I don't want you back. Is it too much to ask? I don't want you back. I don't want you back.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is it. No flaring, no cutting, and the job is done. Now, there is much more pretty professional ways to do this, I'll agree. But if you need to get this done on a budget, this is how you do it. This is by far the ugliest part of it. And if I can get a hold of another line, I'll probably do that. But clearly, the only thing we had to do was bend these lines and bolts right in. I showed you the part number. This thing really just floats here. It's held in so tight by all the brake lines, it's not going anywhere. Now, if I need to move the brake lines in the future as I put the motor in, I will handle that and deal with that as we get there. So, but for the most part, this is how you do it. This is how you get a brake check done, or at least a ABS delete for 30 bucks. And it keeps everything off the firewall. We can go ahead and cut all these off if we want, and we're ready to go. Again, let me just say this is not the most professional way you can do this. This is not the prettiest way you can do this. There are much better ways you can do this with professional tools. But again, this is no cutting, no flaring, on the cheap. Get it done, move on. To everyone out there that's gonna say this is a hack job, yes, you're all correct. This is sort of a hack job. This is to just get it done, not make it look beautiful, but it works.